There are things the old know that the young cannot quite believe. Not because the young are arrogant, but because their blood is too fast, their days too loud, their bodies too strong. Time hasn't carved its marks in them yet. So when an old soul speaks a quiet truth, the young smile and nod but don't quite take it in. Not really. Not yet. The old know how fast it all goes. They say it gently, not wanting to disturb the momentum of youth. It goes by in the blink of an eye. The young laugh and say, I know, but they don't. How could they? Time feels endless when you're 20. Summer stretches like a highway with no end. You think you have decades to figure it out, but the old know you don't. And not just because death waits, but because life moves. People drift, bodies change, moments slip by. The old know that beauty fades and love must be deeper than skin. They've watched their own faces soften and wrinkle, their hair thin, their posture slump. They remember what it was like to be admired, to turn heads, to feel strong and attractive. But they also remember what didn't last and what did. A long gaze between lovers, a hand held in silence, kindness, patience, loyalty. These are the real jewels, they say. But the young still chase sparkle. It's all right. It's part of it. Still, the old know better. The old know that nothing is promised. They remember the ones who didn't make it. The friends who died young, the parents who left too soon, the accidents, the diagnoses, the wars, the sudden calls in the night. They carry ghosts in their pockets and anniversaries in their bones. They live with a quiet humility. You never know. The young don't want to hear that. They want to believe in control, in planning, in goals and dreams. And that's good. But the old know that the ground can shift at any moment, and that gratitude is better than certainty. The old know that forgiveness matters. They've held grudges that cost them years. They've seen feuds stretch until the funerals. They've watched siblings die without saying what needed to be said. They know the price of pride. They don't always say it out loud, but they hope the young will learn to let things go before it's too late. The young think there's time. There isn't always. The old know that no one really knows what they're doing, that everyone is figuring it out as they go, that most of life is improv. They spent their early years trying to arrive, trying to feel like adults, like experts, like professionals. And one day they realized no one feels that way. Not really. People bluff. People cope. People guess. Even the wise are just older fools who've stopped pretending to be sure. The old know that pain doesn't go away, but it changes. That grief softens, but doesn't vanish. That healing isn't erasing, but integrating. They know that heartbreak is survivable, that you can go on, that you will laugh again, even if it feels impossible now. The young, when broken, sometimes feel it's the end. The old know it's a chapter. A terrible one, maybe, but not the end of the story. They know that joy is simpler than the young think, that it comes in a good meal, a warm day, a quiet moment, a song from childhood, a grandchild's laughter, a breeze through the window. The young think joy is the top of the mountain. The old know it's sometimes the walk up, the stop to catch your breath, the friend who walks beside you. The old know that one day they will be gone, and not long after they will be forgotten. Their names may be remembered by a few, their stories told now and then, but the world moves on, so they try to savor the now. They try to bless what's in front of them. They look at the young and whisper their truths, not to control, but to pass the torch. Sometimes the young listen, sometimes they don't. It's all right. The old were young once too. They didn't believe either. But maybe one day, when a young one finds an old photo or watches a loved one breathe their last or sits in a quiet moment wondering where the time went, they'll remember something, a phrase, a glance, a story they didn't understand at the time, and suddenly it will make sense. That is what the old hope for, not agreement, not obedience, just a seed planted in love that will bloom when the time is right. And that is what they know.